Hi, Taehyung lovers around the world. Welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers Channel, a channel that doesn't just talk about Kim Taehyung as an idol, but as a phenomenon of world change. The first 3 seconds. Not cheers, not applause, but feeling that strikes your awareness. Why is it that every time a name Kim Taehyung appears, the business world wins yet the fandom world chooses silence? Before you keep scrolling, stop for a moment. Just 3 seconds. Because this video is not merely praise, and it is clearly not comfortable content for everyone. Today, we will discuss something many people are not ready to hear. We will examine why every brand touched by Kim Taehyung instantly rises to become #1 in the world, how a face with nearly perfect symmetry is not just about visuals, but a psychological force that moves a global market, and why, ironically, the coldest recognition often comes from within the fandom itself. What Kim Taehyung touches instantly trends. What he wears is instantly searched by armies around the world. What he represents immediately shifts the direction of an industry. This is not coincidence. This is a pattern, and patterns never lie. In this video, we will dissect facts, data, and the January 2026 reality about brands, music, influence, and irony, things that make many people angry, offended, and eventually aware. Make sure you watch until the end, because in the final part, there is one question you cannot ignore, and the answer is waiting in the comment section. If you believe Kim Taehyung is a force of world change, press like now. Write your opinion in the comments. We want to know which side you're on. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the latest discussions about Kim Taehyung. And one last thing, share this video with your closest friends so they know Kim Taehyung is not just an idol. He is a new standard. January 2026 did not open with euphoria, but with piercing irony. Every brand bold enough to appoint Kim Taehyung as their ambassador ended up breaking records and making history. At the same time, Taehyung's solo work still has to fight for a proper place in what should be the safest space for him, the fandom circle itself. This is where the story becomes uncomfortable, because facts are not always friendly, and data never lies. January 2026 records a pattern that is nearly impossible to dispute. Every brand that ties itself to Kim Taehyung as an ambassador doesn't just experience an image, boost, it rises to become the best in its class globally. The clearest example comes from Apparel. This premium outdoor brand, known for its philosophy of functional design and minimalist aesthetics, once again asserted its dominance on the international stage. At the 2026 Korea First Brand Awards, Apparel was officially named #1 in the outdoor category, a prestigious award chosen entirely by global consumers, not by closed juries or elite industry panels. This is not a symbolic trophy. This is the voice of the global market. Korea First Brand Awards, a barometer of public trust. For years, the Korea First Brand Awards has been known as the most credible indicator for projecting brands that will lead trends and markets in the coming year. The evaluation is conducted through large-scale, cross-country consumer surveys with strict parameters. These indicators include service satisfaction, product quality, consumer loyalty, repurchase intent, and willingness to recommend the brand to others. In the 2026 survey, Apparel appeared nearly flawless. The brand ranked at the top across all major indices, even surpassing competitors by a significant margin. These results confirm that the success is not coincidence, but a reflection of consistent consumer trust. Why does Kim Taehyung always change the game? Global branding analysts describe Apparel's success as a perfect example of alignment between brand values and the public figure representing them. Kim Taehyung does not appear as a typical promotional tool, but as a symbol of values. He does not sell sensation. He does not chase gimmicks. He sells trust. In an era where consumers are increasingly exhausted by noisy advertising and fake imagery, a figure like Kim Taehyung represents authenticity, calm, consistent, and unassuming, and that is precisely why the global market responds with real loyalty. Ironically, the coldest recognition comes from an unexpected direction. Solo works marginalized in their own home. It is deeply saddening to witness how Kim Taehyung's solo works are often treated within his own fandom circle. Songs born from an honest and personal artistic process are frequently sidelined from fandom-created playlists. In various popular rankings, including Wrapped, these works appear as if they are supplements rather than central narratives, as if their presence could be postponed, as if their value were not urgent. Yet the data shows the opposite. Kim Taehyung's listener statistics reveal a strong and stable audience base. His listeners are not only solo fans, but also members of the general public outside the BTS ecosystem. This is not emotional opinion. This is recorded fact. And yet, strangely, many playlists barely include his songs or place them merely as fillers, not as a core of a musical story. This treatment fails to represent the emotional depth, vocal maturity, and artistic courage that define his solo work. Reducing Kim Taehyung's songs to optional choices is not mere neglect. It is a form of diminishing his artistic contribution. Criticism can still be answered, but silence is a verdict. From this pattern emerges an honest message about who is considered worthy of being highlighted and who is simply allowed to exist. Ironically, this message comes from a fandom that should understand his value the most. This is not an accusation. This is a mirror. Two worlds, two opposite responses. On one side, the global business world responds to Kim Taehyung with awards, sales figures, and consumer loyalty. On the other side, parts of the fandom respond with silence. This contrast is too sharp to ignore. When a cold, rational global market can recognize value, while an emotional community hesitates to acknowledge it, the question is no longer about Kim Taehyung, but about how we value art. January 2026 as a historical marker. January 2026 ultimately becomes an important marker, not only because Snow Peak Apparel reached the top of the world, but because it once again proved one consistent truth. Wherever Kim Taehyung stands, credibility grows. The Korea First Brand Awards is not an empty symbol. It is a reflection of global public trust, and trust is the most expensive currency in this era. Now, the question is no longer whether Kim Taehyung deserves recognition. Thank you for watching until the end. If you're still here, that means you're not an ordinary viewer. You are a true Kim Taehyung fan. Before we truly close this video, remember one thing that is most uncomfortable, yet most honest. Why does recognition come from outside first, not from within? This question is not meant to attack anyone. It is meant to open eyes. Because when truth appears, it is not always pleasant to hear, but it is always worth discussing. The comment section is open. Write your thoughts. Agree or disagree. We want to hear them. Because truth, sooner or later, always provokes a reaction. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and support. Leave a comment to keep this discussion alive. Subscribe to the Taehyung Lovers Channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming content. And most importantly, if this video is helpful, share it with your closest friends. Let more people know who Kim Taehyung truly is and why his influence cannot be ignored. See you in the next content. Keep thinking honestly. Stay with Taehyung Lovers.